What is up, YouTube? It is me, Rahul, your boy, and we are here with our first Fusion Strike deck list. Now, I know it's not on PTCGO yet. PTCG Live is not coming until next year, but I wanted to talk about Mew VMAX and my first, this is how I want to try to play the deck, and this is, I think, my favorite way to play the deck, and we're going to kind of take that into a different, gear with more of the toxicity and other stuff later. So we're just going to jump into this Mew VMAX deck right away. Where should I put myself to make it easier? Let's do this. Okay. Hello, I'm still here. Hello, it's me. Okay, Mew VMAX, guys. If you want to get the screenshot of the deck list, just take it and go. But before you do that, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment down below. At least like and subscribe if you're stealing the deck list. That would mean a lot to me. Because, I'm going to keep giving you guys deck lists. They're not going anywhere, but it would support me a lot. But Mew VMAX, Genesect. This is my take on the deck. I mean, a lot of people have had different takes on the deck, obviously, and I think the turbo version is probably the best so far. I've seen very many iterations of this list, or very different variations of this list, and I think this is my favorite way to play it. So I'm going to kind of go through the cards and kind of give you my best analysis on why they're in here. 4/4 Mew VMAX, I think you need to. So normally you can afford to play 3 VMAX in a lot of situations and a lot of decks, because the VMAX isn't usually a pivotal point of the deck, or you're only ever going to need 2 Mew VMAX to end the game. But in my view, you need to have 2 Mew VMAX on the board at all times. Therefore, if one is prized and one gets discarded, it really makes it near impossible to actually execute your strategy. So I think you need to kind of have that exact number of stuff. So I think a 4/4 Mew VMAX is absolutely pivotal, absolutely crucial. For Genesect V as well, with the Fusion Strike system ability that lets you draw cards, also pivotal and crucial. Now, if you're counting, that's at least 8 Fusion Strike Pokemon that you can bench, given a couple of prizes here and there. We still play the Latias, which has the Dyna Barrier attack, which lets you kind of hit something, and your active can kind of withstand a VMAX hit, which is very strong. Yeah, so Dyna Barrier is really good, and we can obviously go through things with a Max Miracle the following turn, but I think Dyna Barrier is very strong to kind of buy you some time, buy you some tempo, and force your opponent to play in a way that they wouldn't normally want to play. I'm playing the Oricoil with Lesson and Zeal, because I think in the mirror match and some other situations, having Lesson and Zeal really makes them have to force to have their power tablets or some other pieces. The 20 damage does make a big difference, and I think Glistening Droplets, putting the 5 damage counters on the board, also can help out in really weird situations where you can kind of set up knockouts early, kind of put yourself in a position where you don't want to knock out the active, for example, but you want to start getting damage onto the board. So you can Glistening Droplets something early and just kind of set up a 2-shot, or even set up a 1-shot later on, basically. For the supporters, I have 3 LS's Sparkle, 3 Boss's Orders, 2 Peony, and 1 Professor's Research. I have 3 LS's Sparkle because I think getting the energies into play is very crucial. I don't think you necessarily need the third. It might be just better to play 2 LS's Sparkle and maybe a 4th Boss or a 2nd Research, but that's something I think would be explored better with more testing. For the time being, I think 3 LS's Sparkle is a good place to start. 3 Boss's Orders, I think, is the minimum you can play in this deck. I think this deck really thrives off of being able to boss almost every turn with little to no effort, because you technically are on a clock. I think eventually your damage output gets surpassed. I think other decks, when they start getting to set up, it starts becoming a real problem for you. So I think being able to boss and use copy Technoblast every turn is pretty much really crucial to kind of closing out the game, kind of figuring out exactly how you want to map out the game and win. And so maybe a 4th boss over LS's Sparkle is more important, but for the time being, I like how it is. I have 2 copies of Peony because I think early game Peony is really, really strong. It's discard your entire hand and get 2 item cards and put them into your hand. So I think at any given point, you can Peony, grab yourself a card like Escape Rope, grab yourself a card like or Power Tablet, or grab yourself just 2 Power Tablets, and I think that's really, really crucial. I think that's something that cannot be understated when you're playing a deck like this that needs to find those Power Tablets or that Escape Rope or something on that very crucial turn to kind of play your game. So yeah, that's why it's in there. I have 1 copy of Professor's Research. I think Research is a good card in this deck. I don't know if I want more than 1 copy, just because I don't want it clogging up our hand. But if we only play 1 Research and hits the discard early, it kind of feels like I'm just wasting a card slot. But mid to late game, I feel like if we get Research, there's going to be situations where our hand is just a bunch of dead Pokemon or dead items that we don't want to keep playing, like some of those Battle VIP passes, or quick balls and stuff that just get kind of stuck in our hand, we have to find a way to just get rid of them. So it might just be better. Research might not even be good. It could just be completely cuttable, and a fourth gear could make its spot, or a fourth boss could just make its spot. But for the time being, I think trying out one research cannot hurt, especially because this deck has a lot of turn and burn, and we can go through our deck very, very quickly. I have 4 Battle VIP Pass. For search cards, I'm going to kind of like talk out of order a little bit with what you guys see in the list. I have 4 Battle VIP Pass, 4 Quick Ball, 2 Far Crystal, and 2 Great Ball. Battle VIP Pass says you can only play this card on your first turn. You can get 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Now, obviously, after your first turn, this card is absolutely garbage. You can't play it. You can't do anything with it. But being able to play it going first means we get Genesect and Mew every single time, which means we get our attacker for the next turn, and we get a draw card to draw some more cards. So Battle VIP Pass, I think, is really crucial to have, and I think you need to max out the count so we can kind of ensure that we draw into it going first, especially. Quick Ball is another way to just get our Genesects and our Mews as well. We have only 10 basics in the deck, and I think 8 of them are like probably really, really good to start. Obviously, Oricorio and Latias are not the most beneficial to start, so we have an 80% chance of starting a good basic, and then we have 8 more cards that kind of give us another basic that we want in our hand, starting, going first. So we have literally 12 cards that get us Genesect off the rip, and then 18 cards that get us Mew off the rip, which is like incredibly good odds to find what we need to set up on turn 1, because I think if you can't have this deck fumble on turn 1. You like absolutely cannot fumble going first. I think that has to be the focus of the deck. So that being said, I think 2 Far Crystal, 2 Great Ball is fine. I think Great Ball is better than Evo Incense because Great Ball also can fetch you a Genesect when you need it. Obviously, not having Evo Incense means we have no way to search Mew VMAX out, but we're drawing so many cards every turn, so I think it's completely okay to not have a way to search out Mew VMAX. And most of the time, we're going to end our turn with like big hands, so it's completely okay. We have 4 copies of Power Tablet, 4 copies of Cramomatic. Now, Power Tablet is our boost to get more damage. It's 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very, very strong. Cramomatic is a discard an item card from your hand, flip a coin. Of heads, you can get a card and put it in your hand, any card. So Cramomatic is our answer to Path to the Peak. It's our answer to finding that boss in that crucial turn we need to win the game. It's our answer to finding energy. It is a card that, like, if Crushing Hammer is so crucial when it's played, and Super Scoop Up is so crucial when it's played, I think Cramomatic is equivalent or even stronger in that capacity, where like it's a coin flip card that can literally win you the game at any given moment. So I think it's just nuts. And I think Cramomatic being able to discard another Cramomatic, being able to discard a Battle VIP Pass, like being able to because Marnie is the only disruption in format, we're never going to go below a 5 card hand. So finding Cramomatic and another item to discard is like really, really easy. Pokegear, we're only playing 3. I think 3 gear is still fine because it's a thinnable card. It's basically a thinnable supporter. It should be able to hit us that boss, hit us that Alessa's Sparkle, whatever we need. We're playing 2 copies of Escape Rope over Switch because I think Escape Rope gives us a way to in the mirror to get something out of the active spot. And also, if we go first, we can force a really awkward turn 2 if the opposing side doesn't bench too many Pokemon. So I think Escape Rope is just strictly better than Switch because also Mew VMAX has free retreat, so we can always just retreat and Escape Rope into our Mew VMAX, so it's never a big deal. And if we have 2 Mews and Mew VMAXs in play, which we almost certainly always will, we can always just pivot between the two, and it's not a big issue for us. So Switch is like equivalently Escape Rope. We have 1 copy of Air Balloon because I think we still need to have a tool card to get our Genesect out of the active. Having 2 retreat costs is not ideal for us. So we need to find that when we do. I'm playing 5 stadiums because I think we need to have answers to Path to the Peak. Obviously, Path is not a crazy big deal, but if we get Paths early and we don't get to draw through our deck, we can really get stuck because a lot of our cards revolve around, needing Genesect to draw cards, especially like finding Mew VMAXs, right? And finding our energy cards, because besides Alessa's Sparkle and Far Crystal, we have no real way of finding those energies. Old Cemetery is a card that like says whenever a player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their non-psychic Pokemon, they take 2 damage counters. That damage could add up here and there. I think that's really cool to have. I like it. 1 Training Court to bring back that psychic energies. We only have 2 psychic energies. This Training Court is meant to be a flex slot for Ordinary Rod as well in a situation where we don't have too many Path decks running around in the format. Therefore, we can just play off the 4 stadiums and call it a day. But Training Court is a way for us to get our basic energies back because we literally only have 6 energy in the deck, so it's kind of hard to... we could run out of energy pretty quickly, but we also have Mew to copy Psychic Loop to throw it back into the deck and save our energies, which is something you guys need to be doing actively. There's fewer Fusion Strike energies, prevents things from like Umbreon VMAXing, all that kind of stuff, good stuff. Inteleon Pings, very strong. And then 2 basic Psychic energy. Now, immediate cuts you guys could make is cut a battle VIP pass, make it 3 fog crystal, kind of play a little bit fewer VIP pass and just make it so you have more crystals. You could cut a quick ball for a fog crystal as well, because fog crystal also serves the same purpose of getting the Mew V or the energy that you need. Trading Court can be ordinary rod. You can also cut 1 old cemetery for the fashion stadium, the fashion square stadium or whatever, the fashion mall center or whatever. That gets you the tool back into your hand, the air balloon. So it can give you a chance to bounce your air balloon back into hand. Escape ropes can be switches. Like I said, the research can be cut entirely for another supporter card of your choice, you're choosing. A Leon is a card I've been trying to find room for, because I think having that plus 30 is also very strong. But all of that being said, this is kind of my starting point for Fusion Strike Mew. This is my starting point. This is what I want to try. This is, if I had a 1K, 10K, whatever tournament on this upcoming weekend, this is what I would try to lock in and try to play it. This is like what I would want to do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try to do, leave a Fusion Strike deck you want to see in the comments below, because I have a couple of ones I have ideas on how I want to build the lists, but I kind of want to hear your guys' suggestions on what you want to see next. Obviously, I don't want to like force you guys to watch a video on a deck list you don't want. And hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys Wednesday.